Hello, hello, hello. How are you all? Well, this is new to me, all this live stuff. It's not like doing a video where you can go and edit it. So good to see you. If you're there, give us a wave. Well, you can't wave, but give us a chat in the message in the chat. Say where you're from, how you found me. Great to hear that there's people out there. I've put the link in there for the journal. So if you want to go and grab yourself that, it's in there. Otherwise, grab yourself a pen and paper and you can make some notes as we go along. Whether you've read the book or not, it's grand either way. See how it works. Get the next book for October and come and join us at the end of October for the next one. So grab yourself a brew. Got a brew? We'll have a little chat about this book, shall we? So let me bring my notes up. And before I start, I'm going to say why I started to do these. I did start attending a book club myself, and it was on Zoom, and it was good, and I enjoyed it. Not everyone was coming every week, which is a shame because it's nice to, with these things, it's nice to have the same people come in and you make a community. For me, I was always told when I was a kid that I was a slow reader. I believe that, whether it's true or not, probably is. I've accepted it. I actually use audiobooks now mostly. And so for me, I wanted to have some accountability, which is why I started this other book club, going to this other book club. And yeah, I was reading. I was having regular books there. They met up every 2 months. So it was plenty of time to read the books. And I was reading more and it was great. And there was an accountability there. So that's the first reason. Secondly, self-development and spiritual growth, just feeling like you want to grow and develop yourself, all starts with you. So as a mindfulness teacher, I'm well aware of that. And it's something I've always done. I've always been into this kind of thing. So that was another reason. And then thirdly, wanted to make my own community, starting this channel, growing this channel. I wanted to make a community so we could have this space and connect and bring our own perspectives of this book together or all the books and share our different perspectives, because we all read in the same book, but we're all coming at it from different life experiences. We're all going to have different aha moments. So yeah, it's I can see that I'm just getting distracted because you can see in the reflection of the window everything in the kitchen. Never mind. So yeah, community and being together, holding a space, having some accountability and making connections along the way. So that is my reasoning behind this. I hope that's what we achieve together. That's my intention. So let's dive in, shall we? If you're there, let me know if you've read the book or not. It's an old one. You might have read it a while ago, actually. So if you've got my journal, and the reason I did this journal is because the book club that I was in actually started to go off topic, and I'm all for, having it relate to your own experiences and everything. But I still came away from some of them going, I don't know what we did with the actual book. We didn't really talk about the actual book very much. So it's just for me a way of keeping on track and also to document it, because some of these books I've read, things like Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, ages ago, all these other spiritual and self-development books. So long ago, and I can't remember them all. You know, they had some real pivotal stuff in there. And whether it's for your own self-development and self-growth, or whether it's for friends and family or your business, having some quotes and some aha moments or something to reflect back on at your hands, instead of having to go back to the whole book, and especially if you've got an audio book. So that's why I made this journal. So the link for that is in there. This is what we'll use as we go through. If you know my story, you'll know that we are selling everything we own and traveling. So we're not going to be here for very much longer, hopefully. So unfortunately, I can't actually use this. I can't write in it. So I will be looking at my notes online. But I am using those headers as we go. The other thing I'll just say is that I am looking to do self-development and spiritual books. And if interested, I'm looking at maybe adding some conscious parenting stuff in there as well. Because if you're new to this channel, I am a mindfulness teacher. My name's Carrie. I home educate our girls, and I'm on a non-religious spiritual journey. So, and this channel is all about bringing mindfulness to the family. So I talk to you, the parent, and I talk to you as the person, as the individual, before you add on the layers of all your responsibilities. So I see and hear you as the individual parent, and then all the stuff on top of that. So you as a relationship to yourself, relationship to your partner, and relationship to your kids, and then your family as a whole. And I've got a really good free guide on that. And I've got a video series as well on like all the connections within your family. So go and check that one out as well. But so that's why I might add in some parenting stuff. I've got the next two books lined up, but the following one, which I think will take us to December, if there's enough of us coming to these, I will put a poll up and you can choose yourself. So it's whether or not we choose within the three categories of spirituality, self-development, and parenting. Okay, enough Twitter, enough rambles. Let's dive into this. So, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. This is his first book of this type. I can't remember what his next one is. I've got it on my list. I'll look for it. So The Untethered Soul. So this isn't particularly his author's overview. I did, because I get it online. I get it on Audible. I couldn't come across it. So I've just found this review off someone, this overview. So The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer explores self-discovery and inner peace by encouraging readers to separate their true selves from their thoughts and emotions. It emphasizes the importance of letting go of mental blockages and allow energy to flow freely, ultimately leading to a more liberated and joyful life. So the next thing in that journal is your direct quotes. And as per me, I have written copious amounts here. I've done quotes from each chapter, really. So I've got about at least 3 or 4 pages here. But what I have done is where it comes, the next section comes to the aha moments. I've listed the quotes and put what the aha moments are there. So I've picked the best ones, if you will. And as more and more people join us live, I will give you more opportunity to say your piece. It won't just be me talking. So it's just as we're getting started, it'll be me making all the ramblings. But I hope you get something from it either way, whether you've, like I say, whether you've read the book or not. I hope you get some takeaways from this video. But it would be good if we all did manage to read the book. I mean, you can get them on hard copies on Audible and even at the library. So yeah, check it out. Anyway, so I had some aha moments from chapters 8, 13, 14, and 15. They stood out the most. And it's things I've worked through, currently working on, or about to. So chapter 8, I'm just going to go back and tell you what that chapter was called. Chapter 8 was called Letting Go Now or Fall. And the quote that I put down here was, When you try and control life, you will feel that every day is heavy. Another one, if you're always trying to control life, you'll never be able to fully live it. That was a massive light bulb for me. I'll just read what I've put and then I'll elaborate. So I have been learning to live without fear lately, of course, with everything that we're doing at the minute. And I am aware I have tendencies to control situations, maybe people, family at times, and life has felt heavy. Putting these together was a realization. So when you're trying to control life, it can feel heavy and you're not fully living it. So the reason why this resonated with me so much is because being a parent and a home ed parent, and most of this year hubby has been away, last year or so, working away, so it's been quite difficult. And when whatever you're doing, whether you're working full-time, coming home and got family life, whatever it is, there's a lot on your plate. Everyone nowadays, we're spinning a lot of plates at the minute. And I think there's a feeling or a need to want to control everything. And the reason being, because if we don't keep spinning the plates and the break and the fall and everything goes to pot, you break, you're no good for anybody. So we just have to keep doing everything and everything and everything. And I think, we can't keep doing that, can we? And life doesn't feel good when we're doing that. So something's going to give somewhere down the line. And that's why that was quite pivotal for me, because when you try to control your life, you'll feel that every day is heavy. And if you're always trying to control life, you'll never be able to fully live it. So that was quite big. So I'm learning about control. I've done a few videos actually about control, about routines and to-do lists, about it all really, because I was feeling that, resistance, that like clinging of control and having the need to control people and situations and everything. And you can't relax. It is that you feel heavy. You're not really fully living life. And when you put them words together, I was like, I'm all about living life, because if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I've had a lot of loss in my life and I know how precious life is. So I really am big on living life fully. So that was quite an eye-opener. Moving on, chapter 13, which is about far, far beyond. He titled that. Chapter 13. Stop doing the things that cause you to build up walls. We put up walls, so this is me now. We put up walls because our need to control. We control because of the fear of getting close to the pain of the thorn. So he talks, doesn't he, about the thorn. And when we're hurt, when someone's hurt us in life, and we can say that that's the thorn, and we would rather wrap it up in cotton wool, pull away from everyone and everything around us, never go near it again, and walk our life with this thorn in us. I always said that about grief. If we don't look at grief, it's like having a ball and chain and you're just carrying on. You're going back to work and you're getting on with your life, but you've got this grief that you haven't let out. And you've just constantly got this ball and chain, where if you get close to it, whether you're talking about that scenario or the thorn, you can pull it out, and that initial bit might hurt. You're going to pull that thorn out and that initial bit might hurt. But once it's out, wow, if you've ever had a splinter, same thing, right? A lot of wood burners going on at the minute. So if you've got a splinter, they're a nightmare to get out, aren't they? They really hurt. But once it's out, it's like, wow, it was never in there. And that's the thing. That's what I feel he's saying here. We put up walls. We put up these protective walls. And this need for control, again, it's massive. It's massive. Chapter 14. letting go of false solidity. And the quote I picked out of here was, when you're disturbed, don't ask, what do I do about this? Instead, ask, who am I that notices this? In time, you will notice the center from which you watch this cannot get disturbed. So I put, to move out of fixing mode and into being and allowing mode without fear. Okay, so this is about zooming out. This is about not getting bogged down with, if you're in the spiritual realm, you might say 3D world, and zoom out to the 4D or the 5D. But not be in fear of what's going on. You know, this fixing mode, this control, how can we fix it? What do I do about this? Instead of that, say, who am I that notices this? Because we're not doing. We're not doing. We're human beings. So instead of being all consumed in the how to fix this, doing all that stuff, you zoom out and you realize that I'm something other than the thing that's getting caught up in it. And he goes into that in a bit more depth, doesn't he? Chapter 15, what was 15 about? 15 was unconditional happiness. Unconditional happiness. So, what did I put up about this? You're not helping anyone by being miserable. Nothing comes from being miserable. No benefit to yourself or others. And it was an aha moment for me, because I have said I want to focus more on making others feel happy in my presence. So I've talked about this in my module video about getting your module back. When we feel overwhelmed and we're stuck in survival, the blinkers go on. You know, we start just thinking about ourselves, because that's all we can do to get by. We're spinning the plates. So the blinkers go on, and we can't really see the wood for the trees for anything else. We're literally doing what we have to do to get by. And we don't think of anyone else, anything else. And that is, we become miserable, don't we? So what I'm saying is, when we start to come away from that, the blinkers come off, we start to remember that there's another world around us, that there's people there that care about us, and we can start to take the focus off us a bit, not saying completely, but take the focus off us a bit and back onto those other people that are in our lives. And like I said, I want to focus more on how I make others feel. What's my Monday, Mindful Mondays, talking about this. What's your energy do to other people? That's the focus for this week, actually. The other quote I put for that chapter is, let go of the part of you that wants to create melodrama. This is the part of you that thinks there's a reason not to be happy. When your mind starts to get unhappy, let it go. Work with it to stay open. Use affirmations, etc. Enjoy the life that comes to you. If you stay happy, you win. Then I've just put, there's no reason to be happy. So reinforcing that, there's no reason to not be happy. But we think there's a reason to not be happy. If something bad happens to us, there's a reason to not be happy. So I've got a story here that links to that. Try and make it short. I did a little test run of this and the story was quite long. So I moved over from the northeast of England to the northwest when I qualified as a physio, and new to the area, started going to meditation classes. That's how I started my spiritual journey. And I moved over in November of 2010, I think it was. And in the March, so I was doing meditation right from when I moved over all this time. And then in the March of the following year of 2011, my dad was taken into hospital and had tests done. Now, the annual leave came up, and because I'd only started working this job a few months, I had some annual leave to take. I asked the people, where's good around here? I live in the beautiful Lake District. I've not really been before. Where can I go that's not run with tourists and stuff? So they said Coniston, which is quite central. It's quite a windy road. I wasn't a very experienced driver. And I took myself off there for a night. This is when my dad was taken over in the northeast into hospital. So I'm over there, it's March, so we're still getting dark nights. And I just like made it over there, gripping the wheel of the car. And I was like, and found out he got taken in. And I was like, oh, and it was just for tests. So it wasn't like he wasn't well other than this cough. And I was like, I can't get back tonight, but I'll be there first thing in the morning, Dad, right? So off I went, but I had that whole week off work. And then the Saturday, the following weekend, I was due to go down to South Cumbria to one of the meditation temples, or the meditation temple down there, to have a course for the day. And it was on something like how to be happy, in how to live a happy life or something like that. And it was a full day course. So my dad said, well, there's nothing you can do here, just waiting for tests, go to that. So I was like, oh, I don't really know if I should. At the time, my mum had moved over to Lancashire because they were in the process of moving, but Dad stayed because of his work. So I was in Cumbria, Dad was in the northeast, my mum was in Lancashire. It wasn't great. So I knew I needed to get back for him and stuff. So anyway, I'm making the story long. So in the end, I go to this course and I said to the monk, I said, look, you're just doing a talk about how to be happy. I've just left my dad in hospital awaiting diagnosis of what's going on with him. How can I be happy? And she said something that stuck in my mind all this time. And it was, obviously I wasn't a parent at the time. And she said, as a parent, your dad will always want you to be happy. Doesn't want you to fake it for him. He wants you to genuinely be happy and not worry about him. Because if you do worry about him, and you are showing that you're having stress and difficulty, then that is going to worry him. So yeah, and that stuck. And I'm glad I went. And fast forward from that day to the end, it was like 7 months. It was a quick cancer in the end. But that helped because, and the using the mindfulness tools really helped. But I always did think, I was strong for my mum in that time with the mindfulness, but I always did think, could you be happy and still grieve? Like, death is not talked about very much in this country, in England. I've said that before. And grief is a big thing. It's one of the biggest things for us. So could we actually go through something as big as grief and be happy without caring what society thinks? Because having been through grief, society come at you at all angles. You're not grieving enough. You've gone back to work too early. You're grieving too long. You need to get yourself back to work and get on with it. All these people come at you with these different attitudes. And what I'll say is, you can only do you, and grieve in your way, and do what's right in your own time. But isn't it funny? Like, so what he said, let me go back to my notes. What he said is that, my take from it is that there's no reason to not be happy. So you might say, grief, how can I not be happy? How can I be happy when I'm going through grief? Well, it's not helping you or them. Don't create the melodrama. This is the part of you that thinks there's a reason to not be happy. When your mind starts to get unhappy, let it go. Work with it to stay open. Use affirmations, etc. Enjoy the life that comes to you. If you stay happy, you win. So yeah, I mean, my take on that is, I'm not saying don't cry, don't grieve, don't show emotion. I'm a mindfulness teacher. I do say do those things, but it's not to stay there. Let it come, let the grief wave come, let it move through you, and then get back to that happy place. not in a fake way, but just, when I was going through it, I was renting a room at the time, and the landlords were living landlords, and they had dogs, and I used to say, can I go and take your dogs out? And so I'd sit in my room and I'd have my crying episode, and then I'd go and get the dogs and we'd go for a walk, and that boosted me. And it didn't feel fake. I wasn't trying to fake it. I allowed what came. So that was a bit of a long dive in there. Moving on, understand your inner energies. When you're happy, your heart feels open and energies run up inside. When you're unhappy, your heart feels closed and energies run down inside. So I think, he does talk a little bit about chakras, doesn't he? And energy centers, however you want to call them. And so he's like, instead of thinking about what to do to open your heart, he says, don't let it close off. When you feel it start to close off, don't. Keep your heart open. Keep your energy running up inside you. I put to that, I'm learning more and more about listening to my own energies. That's why it's on the Mindful Mondays in the next few weeks. Instead of complaining, you're just having fun with the different situations that unfold. Instead of complaining, you're just having fun with the different situations that unfold. So that's like looking at things through kids' eyes, isn't it? Children are very much in the present moment. They'll cry, they'll be hurt, something will have happened, there'll be an event, they'll be crying, they'll be upset, they can't think about anything else in that moment, and they're crying, and they might be a long time crying, but then once they're finished, that's it, they've forgotten about it and they've moved on. There's no grudges held, is there? I've put to that different perspective, aim to put this in practice. So yeah, instead of complaining, you're just having fun with the different situations that unfold. So I think I came across, I need to find it again, something about expectations and watching the magic instead. Instead of having expectations and control, think of the magic around it instead. So when things don't go to plan, think, oh, right, okay, that's fine. It's this way, it's happening this way, I accept it. There's a friend I know that does access bars, and there's a line that they use a lot, and it goes something like if someone is arguing, or if someone has put a bad comment about you online or something like that, they might say, that's an interesting point of view. They don't rise to it. They don't let them take their energy. They don't let them be controlled or dictated to that thing and bring them down and get into the melodrama. They just say, that's an interesting point of view. So they're not dissing that person. They're not knocking them down. It's just a different point of view. So that's what I've got for the quotes. And I've got here, so the next bit in the book goes, what did you like about the book and why? I've put, it's really easy to read and listen to, very relatable examples. Although a mindfulness teacher and work with this stuff a lot, I found a deeper level to these teachings. So that was a big thing for me. His examples were really relatable. And he would say things like the consciousness, which I've got here from chapter 4. The conscious being is always aware it's being conscious. And another one, the more you let the world be just something you're aware of, the more it will let you be who you are. The awareness, the self. Just read that bit again. The more you let the world just be something you're aware of, the more it will let you be who you are. So just letting the world and what goes on, and you're just the awareness of it. And the more you do that, the more you'll be your true you. You're not putting the walls up. You're not protecting the thorn. You're not in fear. So you're just being you, because you're not any of those things. You're just allowing, and you're being that zoomed out version of you. One thing I've started to do, or would like to do a bit more of, is if a situation's happening and you end up reacting instead of responding, which is what we say with mindfulness. So if you end up reacting, if you can pause, if you can make that pause and think of yourself either in however many years' time or in your deathbed, looking back at this clip of video that is now happening, would you like the way you're being in it if you were to watch it being played 20 years in the future? Would you be like, cringe? Oh, I shouted at them, or I was a bit harsh with them, or, I got into the melodrama too much there. I should have let it go. It was nothing, got in caught up. So if you zoom out, you're this consciousness that he's talking about. You're being conscious, because that's what you are. You're not the layers. You're not the labels. You're not the thing that protects the thing, the thing that protects the thorn or the hurt or the pain. You're not that. You're someone with this open heart, this consciousness, this light, joyful, blissful entity in this body, right? So I like the relatable examples to help with this. The thorn, the electric collar on the dog for the invisible fence or cage. I can't really remember that bit. I think it was that an analogy about this dog having an electric collar on that zapped every time he went near the fence. And then I think maybe the fence was taken away, but the collar stayed on, and he kept himself trapped, even though the fence had been taken away. I think that was it. You'll tell me right in the comments for those of you that have read the book. But that's something we do. We've been hurt once before, so we're not going to go back there. So I liked his examples of the thorn and the dog. What did you like about the book, and what didn't you like about the book, and why? Nothing. I actually didn't find anything that I didn't find anything I didn't like. How would you summarize the book? I've put, this book helps people along their spiritual journey and can reach different levels of growth. It meets you where you're at. It's very easy to read and relatable. Would you recommend this book? Why not? Yes, I think it's relatable and will help people on their spiritual personal growth. Would you read another book from this author? Why not? And yes, I would. I enjoyed his style. So I'm just going to see if I can quickly find the other book he has, in case you did like his style and you want to get it. That's not it. I could just Google it. Oh, no. No, I should have brought it up. It's something untethered again. That's why I made sure people got this book. I want to leave that on there. Anyway, you can find him. Untethered Living or something like that, I think it is. But yeah, if you liked his style and you like this book, he does have a second one of it. And what was your star rating for this book? I think it is a book I will come back to when I'm trying to control life and everything feels heavy. I'll come back to, the journal. If you have got it, I would, if I was writing in this, I would come back to that. But obviously I've got mine in a document. So I will come back to that and look at those quotes again and probably put them up and write them up on a post-it note or something, really old school. Or if you want, you could make a Canva and put it on your screen. I think that's something I would do when I'm feeling life's heavy or anything like that. So the next book then is, let me see if I can screen share. Is that coming on? Yeah, so that's your next book. Kirsty Gallagher's Your Cosmic Purpose. If you've heard of Kirsty before, if you haven't heard of Kirsty before, rather, she is an astrologer, And she does updates, weekly updates as well. She works with the moon. She's the yoga teacher. Very insightful. I've started getting into astrology a lot more. Not just your star sign, but your rising and your moon. At least those three are really starting to make sense to me and how I see the world and how I appear in the world. So if you're new to astrology, go check Kirsty Gallagher out. But the next book is going to be from her, Your Cosmic Purpose. And just while I'm on that, I've got this on my phone to show you, just to give you an idea, just random, I've just downloaded it tonight myself, just some random reviews, all 5-star. Loved listening to this book whilst out walking each day. Think I'll buy the paper book though to really get the end section covering the astrology. Recommended this to anyone wanting to get inspired and reassured that there is life purpose and there are tools to assist with uncovering it. Kirsty's most personal and powerful book yet. I have read all of Kirsty's books and each one has touched me in a poignant way and time in my life and journey. Your Cosmic Purpose is powerful and deeply personal and feels as though it's all the parts of my journey coming together and becoming more lucid. I trust that the universe has my back and a plan. I'll certainly be meeting it halfway and more going forward. Thank you, Kirsty. What a great book. I'm on my soul journey, yet I've been on it my whole life. Kirsty has a great way of explaining her journey and indeed our future journey. So, yeah. That's the next book, and that will be, so we do these book clubs the last Monday of every month, so that will be the 27th of October. Jot that down, date for your diary, 8 o'clock UK time. Now, just to be aware, if you are not from the UK, we are currently in BST, British Summertime, but the weekend before that Monday, the clocks go back for us, so we'll be in GMT. So just to be aware of that. So that's the next book. Just some other updates to let you know about. So I'm also going to start some mindfulness workshops. This will be the second Monday of each month. So another date for your diary is the 13th of October at 8 o'clock. That will be still BST because the clocks don't go forward till the 2 weeks after that. So that's like if you have my newsletter, it's a bit of a magazine. I do a card pull, I do mindfulness tips for the family, I do my story, my relatable story on a certain topic and bring mindfulness into it. There's words of the month, so it might words of wisdom, so it might be a poem, it might be a quote. It's a little bit of a workshop really, and so it's going to be like that, but in one of these lives. And obviously, if we can get this community going, it'll be two-way. So that's what I'm planning on the 13th of October going forward. So the workshop's the second Monday of the month, and the book club is the last Monday of the month. So I mentioned my newsletter there. My newsletter is just a monthly thing because I do put a lot into it. And that is the first Sunday of the month. So it will go out this coming month on the 5th of October. So I've put the link there for the newsletter. The link is also in there for the book club journal to get your own one of these. And what else have I got? Mindful Mondays. So I've just started doing that. These are little shorts that I've started doing here on YouTube. Mindful Monday, focus for the week ahead. And instead of just hearing tips, hearing quotes, and then not doing anything with them, scrolling on by for the next stimuli, then I've decided to put a focus in for the week. And this is something you can really spend your day thinking about when you're at work and when you're out and about. You can journal on it on a night every day to really embed it. And you can come back to the video, jot what's any aha moments you're getting. You can jot that down in the video itself, in the comments in there. And I'll be posting it on my channel as a written post throughout the week as well to give you my take on it. So I'll be doing it with you. So you can, there's a few ways you can keep in touch and let me know how you're getting on with it. Lastly, so I've got a lot going on, as you can hear. if you like this and you like the idea of this, like I say, I talk to the parent, as a couple, as the kids in the family, and as a family as a whole. And I talk about connection, I talk about mindfulness, and just really big on connection and family. So if that is you, you might like to subscribe to my channel here and my newsletter, because I'm not going to do a shameless plug here, because if I'm at 40 subs at the minute, fingers crossed it stays there, and more. If I get to 50, I can then do this on my phone, which would make my life a lot easier, knowing that we are going traveling soon. So if you can, I'm only asking for 10 more subs at the minimum. If you feel obliged to, I'm not going to force you, of course, but if you feel obliged to, hit the subscribe button, and let's see if I can make my life easy and do this on the phone, because I want to keep doing them. It's the closest way I can get at the minute to having some interaction with you. So I'll keep showing up, hopefully building the audience. You can tell me what you like and don't like about these. Like I say, I won't be waffling on for so long next time. I will be reading your comments. So the more people that show up to these lives, the less talking of me there'll be. And that's it, really. So that's the Untethered Soul. I hope you did like the book. If you're coming back to this on replay, do drop your review in there, and I'll happily respond to that as well. I'd love to hear what your take was of the book and what star rating you give it. And next book is Kirsty Gallagher's Your Cosmic Purpose. So I'm excited to do that, and we'll be back here on the 27th of October, 8 o'clock UK time. And in between that is the mindfulness workshop. So that'll be the first one going out on the 13th of October. I don't know what the topic is yet for that. If you've got any ideas, if you've got any struggles, some way you want to get connection with yourself and your family, and you want to be a bit more mindful and conscious in your life and live life your way, then drop me a message either on any of my videos, or you can email me at info@aspirituallife.co.uk. Anything you want me to do a video on, or you'd like a topic on the workshop about, or anything, drop it in there, and I will gladly create something for you. I love mindfulness. It has helped me so much in my life, and I'm just so passionate that I want to help as many people as possible. So if you've met me for the first time, I hope it's not the last. And if you have been a returned viewer to my channel, thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. And that's what I've got for you. Much love. Bye for now.